Greetings. I'm Tom Leaf, speaking on behalf of your CLLC Resurrection Team. A group of us were gathered by Pastor Taryn a few weeks ago to consider how we as a church community can start to again physically gather instead of only virtually in the midst of this pandemic. How and when can we open again, and what does reopening look like for Chisago Lake Lutheran Church? Governor Walz has been gradually lessening the restrictions in the past few weeks on gatherings indoors and outdoors. He has had pressure from some church leaders to allow churches to reopen, and some have opened. But we know there have been some rapidly spreading coronavirus cases when churches have been opened, when choirs practiced, and when people gather in groups. Our resurrection team has been wrestling with a plan for reopening. There are many considerations. First and foremost is the health and safety of our members, our pastor, and our staff. We certainly do not want to be one of the churches that caused more cases or deaths due to this virus. Coronavirus cases and deaths do continue to rise, and the virus will continue to be a threat for a long time, many months to a year or more. On the other hand, we would love to get back to a more normal worship and gathering. The pace of the rise in cases and deaths has slowed. The daily hospitalization and ICU beds being used have actually declined a little bit, so the curve is flattening. Aside from our desire to worship and meet again for activities, we have community groups that use our church building to gather and need to know when they will be able to meet in our building. We have inquiries about weddings in our facility. There will be a need for funerals. Also, our church has taken advantage of this time to do work on the church building, including redoing the sanctuary floors and adding a bathroom. We have contacted some of you for your opinion on the need to have a specific date for reopening and to get your impressions on what you consider most important in gathering and worshiping together. Our group is trying to stay abreast of recommendations from governmental leaders and scientific experts, the direction of the ELCA, and other church leaders. We want to keep everyone safe, but also recognize the need to reopen. We have set a tentative date for September 13th, Rally Day, for reopening worship in person, realizing that this could change as more information becomes available. It is possible there could be some types of gathering before that time. What will worship look like when we reopen the church building? We will likely need to socially distance. We will probably not be hugging or shaking hands. We may not be singing. Communion may not be the same. We may not be sitting around a table in the fellowship hall. We need to figure out about limiting the virus spread in our building and the traffic flow entering and exiting the sanctuary. Thanks to Pastor Taryn for the nicely done online worship and meditations. Thank you to all of our church staff and the participants in the online worship. It has been a time of change and challenge. There's been much hard work and thought rising to this challenge. Our resurrection team consists of Lee Peterson, Carrie Benson, Sarah Peterson, Betsy Nordby, Louise Angramson, Christy Warner, and Pastor Taryn, and myself. We do not pretend to have all or even most of the answers. We welcome and value your input. Feel free to contact any of us with thoughts about reopening. Peace be with you.
You've been walking the same old road for miles and miles. You've been hearing the same old voice tell the same old lies. If you're trying to fill the same old holes inside, there's a better life. There's a better life. If you've got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you want freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. We've all searched for the light of day in the dead of night. We've all found ourselves worn out from the same old fight. We run to things we know that just ain't right. There's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you want freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you need freedom or saving, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker.